And then you guys know how to reach me on the chat. If you're on Zoom, you know you can ask questions the whole time. And if you're asking questions and I don't answer them right away, you know that I will get to them at the end. I promise I'll back up and go check and see what you said. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Truth Tribe. You all know I'm Dawn Thompson. Thank you for being here. So remember that you are all perfect exactly where you are in this now moment. Right now is all there is. There is no other moment in time. There is no going anywhere. There's no getting anywhere. So you are perfect exactly what's happening in your life right now. There is nothing wrong with you. And remember, I love you very much. I love you. I do my meditations and I'm going to share you guys. I want to show you last week. So you guys said you can't hear me. Can you all hear me okay? Okay. Pat, check your speakers because everyone else can hear me. So everybody can hear me, but Pat, check your speakers real quick, okay? So guess what? Yeah, just turn up the volume. Guess what happened this week? Actually, guess what happened a couple hours ago? Dun, da, da, da. I know this is my editor's copy. But I got the proof copy, so we have to wait a day or so for you to be able to see this on Amazon. But this is the I Deserve It meditation journal I keep bringing up to you guys. And so the actual copy is here, which means they're just waiting. So they sent me the copy. They have it, listed up. So you can go in and start doing your meditation journaling that I keep encouraging you all to do. Now there's no excuses. Now you can go on Amazon and order them for all your friends and have little meditation parties and then write out what meditation comes into your journal. And then you can share them with each other and start talking what Spirit has said. Anyway, there's a little video that's attached to it. I'm going to turn that on as well, but it is not live on Amazon. So give it a few days. I will send out a little memo. But anyway, isn't it cool? So meditation journal, it just happened today. I want to share with everybody. So you guys are the first to see, the first to know. Just came in the mail today. I thought it was pretty cool. So anyway, yay. Okay, so let's talk about Truth Tribe. All right, let's talk about the topics. Irresponsible energy is unattractive. Okay, so how do you make yourself more attractive? You understand your imbalances. Nobody else can understand you. Only you can understand you, right? So you have to get to know yourself inside and out darkness, light and dark, in and out, all of it. You got to get to know yourselves, right? So become responsible for the dark side that you deliver to others and when and where you are most guilty of bringing your fury and your fears to everybody else, right? You have been trained to accept unhealthy asshole love, as I call it, right? You've been trained to accept asshole love and you are the only one, like you're the only one to escape out of this. And the only way to escape out of this is for you to see it. That way you can diffuse it, okay? And so you've all been trained, right? You know this, you've all been trained to be loyal to something, to be loyal to a political party, which you all know I find is total bullshit. Both wings are the same bird. It's all corrupt. Anyway, I digress. You've all been trained to be loyal to a political party, to a doctor, to a teacher, to a guru, to a parent, to a friend, to a label. Label's my big one. But again, I love doctors. You all know this. I love teachers. I love gurus, but not just one. All of them are important. But when it comes to labels, you've been trained to be so loyal to your label of whoever told you you're something, you're this or you're that, or whatever the case may be, right? So this is the simplest reason why you're still in conflict with yourself and others, okay? You're accepting an extremely divided way of living. You're accepting others, or sometimes you guys are even accepting a complete stranger's extreme way of living, right? Their label of joy and healthy love, that's what you accept. If that's what they label it, and they tell you that's what it is, then you're accepting it, which is in most cases, it is in fact not healthy. It's actually heavy and it's hard for others to love you. when you accept that version. That's not peace, that's not neutral, and that's not love. Okay, you have not been trained to research and to get to know yourself at your roots. You have not been empowered by your parents and in school, society, family to enhance your gifts and respect your weaknesses. You were not trained to be able to call yourself out on your weaknesses. Seeing when you are bringing the unhealthy hammer to others. You don't see it. You don't see when you're delivering unhealthiness to others. It could be so small and you're like, I didn't do that. You don't know you're doing it because you don't see you. Hammering your unhealthy programs instead of your vision of love, right? So we discussed this last week, by the way, if your vision of love, right? So if you want, go back and listen to last week if you missed it. There is a high level of death on the planet right now. And it's not just physical death, it's also emotional death. All right. And this is appearing for your ascension to grow. God's source consciousness is getting you to grow and expand out of this density. And because you've been taught not to feel what you feel for so long, you are trained to stuff it into your body, which creates illness. And illness is ill at ease, and ill at ease turns to dis-ease. And we're all shocked by what we're sitting here looking at in our realities. Now your bodies are reacting because they're opening up to light. And you're resetting, and it's pushing all the boulders and all the blocks out of your energy field. Okay, all the holes are either that are coming up for you, and you're bringing out the boulders. So you've got holes in your energy field. They're either emptiness of masculine or feminine energy gaps. That's what they are. And divine feminine energies are no longer staying in the shadows, hidden. Right? You can feel the difference between superficial looking feminine, like love from people, and embodying the flow energy and true divine connection to someone. That's pure divine love, God consciousness love. The reason for unresolved conflicts and affairs and cheating and scandals are all coming up on the wizard digital TVs, right? These wizards who have all the news, just like the Wizard of Oz. Okay. So the wizard digital TV, as well as your personal stuff, is coming up because humans are recognizing that they've been in the superficialness, shall I call it, in your connections for so long. And you're realizing the superficial that you've been in with these made up entities and these made up digital social TV celebrity energies that no longer, it's not an actual loving divine connection of love. And so now the planet, you are desiring healthy love, right? Which is simply a symptom of awakening. 3D is physical, 4D is thoughts, thinking, and 5D is the higher consciousness realm, source realm. 5D is the truth dimension. It embodies divine love. So anything divine masculine, because we're both, right? So anything divine masculine attempting to build on the physical earth without its counterpart of divine feminine to balance it will blow apart just like the big bad wolf blowing on straw houses. Like the male is the lake and the female is the water. You can't have one without the other, just a deep hole. Men and women are sitting in this confused state, unsure of how to create expansion. And I don't care what sex you're attracted to. I'm going to call it men and women, but it's masculine, feminine. And each person that's in a relationship will take on the masculine or the feminine role to create safe, trusting houses. Physical house, emotional house, whatever you want to call it. The house of your body. So if a woman, I want you to think of it this way, does not feel safe to share her emotions and be her true, authentic self, she will then gravitate towards her innate, organic, feminine, mothering, emotional moon energy. Right? And she will fill in the gaps that male is not supplying, which then starts creating a stronger divine masculine in her energy field. Only then right, to create two masculine energies within the relationship, which is establishing imbalance. Then you have men, if they could actually just grow more for women, and when a man is receiving more strength for women, more confidence for women, so when that man is receiving this empowering energy from a woman to step into his power of divine masculine, you then improve the men's ability to receive the female's gift of nurturing and appreciation with their ability to flow emotionally, spiritually, and confidently. They can't go there if they're in doing mode, in masculine mode. So women, y'all are lessening your power of flow or feminine strengths, right? Emotions, when you don't feel safe because they're in environments lacking divine masculine stability. And the masculine is the foundation and the feminine is the frame of the house. I've seen so many times this happens. And it's just because of the clientele I work with, right? But I've experienced so many very successful female clients who truly struggle with the word feminine, right? And I find it fascinating because I did for a long time. To embody and embrace your femininity for a strong, successful woman, a lot of the times is super scary, right? It scares the shit out of them because they fear being backed into a space that's unsafe. Even though in relationships, they crave it to the core of their DNA. So in turn, right, they turn to protect themselves by becoming this driving, controlling, masculine aspect that's lacking in their lives because they were unsafe. So they had used that to get to safety, not because they want to balance it all, right? It was out of survival, blocking the receiving of safety because there's so much action in them, boulders in them. So men who are not self-aware and not self-confident in their strengths, because men have them too, they have a lot of strengths, and confident on how to allow a woman to be a woman, can now see this as you're delivering their unsafe foundation to them. And women don't want to fight you man to man. Women don't want to fight at all. That's masculine drive, aggression energy, right? So women do not want to step into their masculine power all the time. They don't want to mother men. They don't want to mother the male's inner child, lacking their mommy's love. They want to feel safe from that man. She wants you to work out your own life and create space for her to stand passionately and flow with her gifts of nurturing and multitasking and get ready, creation. Right? Her safety makes everyone bigger. Her lack of safety is why we're struggling in relationships. His lack of, even the same-sex relationships, the person that is in the feminine having to be masculine too, they will become angry, resentful. So I know this is crazy, right? But this is the challenge words and labels create. And this is why I've gotten so tripped up with all of you for so long, because it irritates me when we create a label of who we are. Instead of living to create an energy attraction, instead of he's a man and she's a woman. No, energetically, what are you trying to attract? Divine feminine is an essence or an energy of receiving flow. Divine masculine is an essence or of an energy of giving, of delivering, of expanding. And each person that has an excessive masculine will feel resentment in a relationship and not understand why. They don't understand why. I just told you why. When there's too much of one end, that's what happens. Yin and yang is black and white, right? They sit with each other. When you have too much yang, too much of the black, there's not enough water in it. Two lakes with no water in them. That makes sense? So we've discussed in plenty of truth tribes, right, that each person needs both yin and yang inside of you, masculine and feminine, right? As does your partner. You need to be in balance. It's when we become so out of balance that everyone is trying to create this masculine energy. They're trying to do more, do more, do more, and there is no divine feminine creation flow energy. That's where books come from. That's where art comes from. That's where love comes from. That's where sex, intimacy, beauty comes from. Okay? I know there's a lot of questions coming in. I will address them as we get just a little bit further in. And so what I want you guys to understand, it's when we get so out of balance, my friends, it's when we create too much masculine energy. There's no divine creation of flow energy. And that's when all these rifts in your relationships arrive. You are unbalanced in your giving and receiving. It's all doing, 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 and no receiving of flow. So males in a relationship, I don't care where you're at, have fallen backwards in being irresponsible for creating safe space. And women have fallen into being overly responsible for creating safe space for everyone and dissolving this displacement of water in their ponds, right? Lowering their ability to flow. They are taking up too much space. It's like all these boulders are dropping into their own space. So now the more boulders going into your lake, ladies, the more it disperses and it displaces all the water out. And you're wondering why you're lacking your feminine flow, your emotions, your confidence in being nurturing. And so if you keep taking it on, it ain't the man's fault. It's your own damn fault. Women are the lake, and they're taking on too many boulders in their lake, displacing the water of emotional support and nurturing capacity, what you're capable of. So the lake is full of too many boulders to carry. It's too much. Women need to address taking on too much, and men, it's time to realize when you're owning too little. It's a duality game. This is not one person's fault anymore. And I hear this in relationships all the damn time. Like, it's their fault. It's not their fault. It's the woman who takes on too much and then goes, I can't believe you're not stepping up. He doesn't have to. If you don't see how you deliver your energy to others, you will be disappointing yourself repeatedly for this single issue. When you use your sonar, someone asked again to repeat, if you don't see how you deliver your energy to others, masculine, feminine, you will be disappointing yourself repeatedly for this single issue, why you're not balancing in a relationship. You don't fix them, you fix you. So again, when we use the sonar, you all know you can do sonar on the Warrior Pass on your dashboard or in the book. Okay, when you use your sonar to project your energy out, you can simplify this down by speaking your non-negotiable traits that are your core values that you expect to live by. Okay, kind of like your mission statement in life, but these 6 values, okay, you chose them. It's not about commanding others to become what you're becoming. That's masculine. It's about expressing it to others who are you choosing to be. Right? And then welcoming them to accompany your journey. If the frequency is enticing, they will join you willingly. They don't need to be forced and masculine and bullied and bossed into it, right? So you're seeking trust and safety. You're not seeking control and commanding or aggression. Okay? A simple connection of respect, developing trust and safety. Right? My clients all the time will show up when they are at rock bottom. Okay. They're the ones I want. Why are they the ones I want? Because their intention on releasing their non-truth reality of masculine, feminine, of how they learned and what they learned growing up. That's unhealthy love. It's asshole love. That's what we want, because rock bottom, guys, is awesome. It doesn't make it bad. And your rock bottom might not be a place that is there for more than a day, but you're like, oh, hell no, I don't want to be there anymore. This is why, if you don't know yourself and why you're taking in today's bullshit external wizard reality TV reality, social media reality, telling you to be divided and that you're a victim, you are falling for the loss of your power of balance. You've gotten lost in the image of the labeling game that's dividing. So you don't have to choose and you don't have a choice. But get ready to become masculine energy that the wizard world, the clown wizard world wants you to be. Because if there are no women, think of it this way, there's no feminine, there's no emotion, there's no sensitivity, there's no woman, there is no creation. I don't understand why this is so freaking hard to understand. Her energy is where source consciousness becomes life when it is given space to expand. So a shortcut to making this all happen, we'll call it a baby step to get the thing you want. What is one baby step that you can make to get where you're going to heal this? What do you want to what do you want to deliver in your energy field? It's a big question. Do I want to deliver, victim and irresponsible and not ownership and not stepping into my power? Or do I want to deliver confidence and balance and knowing myself of who I am? Are you delivering that? That's your first baby step question. What do I want to deliver? And am I? Okay. If you're not, take one baby step daily to that destination that you want. Okay. What do you want in your relationships if you aren't getting or giving in it? Okay. What is your first single step to that direction? And then tomorrow do the same. So here's a good example. Okay. And I'm going to touch on this in Q&A because this stuff is coming up all over from you guys, which I'm glad this is touching a nerve and getting your attention. I am a girly girl. I like sparklies and I like wings and angels and diamonds and sparkle. I love it. I'm as girly girl as they look. And I will stay blonde and I have to get, I love it. So physically, you all see feminine. I used to own a hair salon. It was in the beauty industry. I love making people gorgeous because I love seeing how beautiful you are. Okay. That is a label and an image, because what I have to work on is being feminine, which is why I put more energy into it, because I am such a doer. I can become overly masculine, overly empowering, overly strong, overly aggressive, and do everything myself. And I became the lake with no water in it. Super unhealthy. So I don't care if you're a male or a female, you could be the male doing the same thing. And you're more of a feminine energy of a nurturer. Maybe you have a job. Maybe you're a doctor or a nurse or a healer, a male healer. You give a lot of feminine energy, which is nurturing, caring, love. I don't give a shit what your label is. You have to look at the energy. And when you come home, are you balancing out the home energy of an actual relationship because you're giving that energy at work? Or are you bringing it, which I would go be, the balls in the boardroom, and then I would bring the balls to home, and that doesn't work. It's not balanced. That's on me. So someone asked for an example. That's my example. You have to look at what you want in your relationships, and then what are you giving? Are you bossing your kids around? Right? Are you trying to be the guy, the man in the relationship of your kids when actually they just need nurturing and love? They want the mom, but you're trying to do both? Ask yourself. Sometimes kids just want TLC. All right, guys, I'll get back to some of these other questions that came in. Let me get to the planetary update real quick, okay? So on Friday, you guys, I warned you guys last week, I prepared you that Friday was the first new moon. It was in Taurus. So I wanted you to write your intentions. If you still haven't, we're only, a little over 4 or 5 days in, you can still do it. Write your intentions, given what I'm talking about here, and plant them in the dirt. The paper will compost into the dirt, but I want you to plant it like you're growing it. Okay, so anything that creates growth, think about that from this point forward. So anything you thought, anything you created, anything you designed, Yes, she planted it in her new garden. Like, little, that makes me so happy. This is the best thing you could have done. Okay, so those of you who haven't, you still can. Okay, that was Friday's new moon in Taurus, which was Earth. Now, the big transit that I saw going on right now. Next week, we'll talk about the full moon coming up on, I want to say the 3rd or the 5th. I got to go look up the dates, and I'll bring that up next week. Pluto is opposite Mars transit. Okay, what's happening in the sky is Pluto's up here and Mars is down here. Now remember, Pluto moved into Aquarius, and Aquarius is so it backed up a little bit. It's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, not quite there yet, and it's only going to be there for a little bit, then it's going to go stay in Aquarius, like I told you, for 20 years. So you might as well just say it's in Aquarius. Pluto's up here, and Pluto is the planet of sex, intimacy, death, and regeneration. Mars is the war, the god of war, the aggression, the assertion, the doer, the creator, the party starter, the fire starter, okay? And they are in opposition and they're pulling on each other. So they're going, I want to win, no, I want to win. It's like a rubber band pull, okay? So you will face tests and challenges right now regarding your ambitions, whether or not you are willing to persevere through difficulties in order to achieve your aspirations. And I'm bringing it up because most people say, I want healthy love. And I'm saying this is something that's going to test you to see how bad you want it. Okay. You will feel pulled into periods of destruction because Pluto rules death and regeneration. It doesn't mean dying death. It means destruction and recreation during this timeline. Okay, so it could feel like your will is being melted under like this underworld secrets and darkness of the stuff you're like, I don't want to see it. I already dealt with that, and you did it. Okay, hidden painful fires at time. Ultimately, you're going to experience like basically the purification, kind of like the phoenix, and then it's going to reveal your deepest desires. So you've got to let it show up and happen. You got to see it. That's why I started the call off. You are more attractive when you see your shit. Okay. So during this time, you're going to have to let go of inessential parts of your life and the sources of comfort that you've been attached to in the past for security. There it is. So through the shedding of all the old things that don't fit you anymore, you're going to become more deeply connected with what is most essential to your purpose. Okay. As part of this regenerative process, you will also experience a metamorphosis of your relationships because you're changing, and you're going to tell them, this is who I'm changing into. Do you want to join me? And like I said, some of them won't. Those are the ones that will die off, and some of them will. Most of them will. They just won't be at your speed, and then you guys get all mad at them, right? So you're going to become aware, excuse me, of any relationships that are not supportive, like of your authentic self, leading you to kind of separate or lessen your involvement with them. So as much as you're like, but I've known them forever. They're my best friend. They were my best friend, and now they're not. And you're like, why am I carrying all their boulders of bullshit? My answer is, I don't know. But you're going to be open-minded to just slowly lessening your time with them so you can express your highest truth. Okay, Mars opposite Pluto gives an intense passion for achieving your strongest desires because Mars wants it. Okay, so you may go to great lengths to achieve the victory that you want. The battle might be just internal, in which you guys are striving for your fullest potential and get better to get past all your efforts because you're forcing it in. Okay, so this transit that's happening, okay, they're going like this, right? And they'll start pulling away from, because Mars will go too fast and Pluto will stay here. But the transit comes with these powerful internal energies. Okay, so it's activating this fight or flight response. Okay, so just be careful with the fights and be careful with running away. I want you to see it, own it, step into it. You may have to contend with powerful internal forces that are acting against you and saying, don't, no, if you go, it's unsafe. They will seek out weak spots, this energy, in your plans and in your defenses to see Have you really prepared? Have you really made plans? Have you really taken one baby step towards it? Success will only come by maintaining high moral standards with who you are, what's your sonar, what's your truth, okay? What is your truth, and can you just stay there? Any coercive, any shady, manipulative threats, tactics, or intimidation to people, it's going to backfire. I'm telling you now, calling names, criticizing, all that old shit is not divine feminine that has to match up with the divine masculine. If you try to build something that is not with the flow and the emotional creation of divine feminine, just like I told you, the big bad wolf will come and blow your house away and you have to start over. Doesn't mean you can't, you just will have to. Cool? Okay, everybody right here, tap into the thymus. I am courage, I am love, I am truth. I am courage, I am love, I am truth. Your challenge for the next week, ongoing through the rest of the year, is to make a self-check alarm in your phone that reminds you to fill in your weak energy or your lower energy or your low energy. For Dawn, go be a girl, go be a girl, go be a girl, go be a girl, which sometimes means just read a book. Slow down, shut up, quit creating, quit building, quit writing, quit do, and just slow down. That might be the answer. It can be that tiny. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to open up to Q&A. Anybody who wants to share if you're in Zoom, if you want to share in the Q&A, if you can see any balances in your divine feminine masculine energy, where you can see that you're doing it, you're creating it, or if you have a question of where it is showing up and you're not quite sure, but you can't quite tell how that's happening. Okay. So, let's see. All right. So some of these questions that came in is, so question anything without being accused of being inquisitive or being kept secret for most. I love that. Yes. Yes. Right. Understand what is being a man and a woman even means energetically. Yeah. I want you guys, okay, this is well said. I don't want you guys to look at the label of a male or a female, right? Again, I have same-sex, a lot of relationships in my coaching, and I know who plays the masculine role and the feminine role. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm just telling you, you came here to learn one or the other, to learn how to balance. So if you don't know which one you are out of balance in, you're going to feel like crap, or you're going to feel heavy, or you're going to feel weighted. All right. Can you repeat the female feeling safe? What that creates in our relationship? You said her safety creates. So the female having safety, she creates safe space for the man to then expand and become more. If she isn't safe, she takes on all of it and becomes less. She has no ability to expand and to support and to empower and to create. Right? Think of it just with sex, guys. He expands and he asks her to expand, to create. She cannot create. She cannot receive his expanded. I know this is so hard for people, but it's super, super basic. Okay. I will drive and do and accomplish and then fall down and wonder why my energy is so zapped. So I need to stop, as you just suggested, and read a book. Yes. So this is a perfect example. Go, 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 do. It doesn't, I'm not only responding to this on a job or a career. It doesn't have to be that. It could be moms overdoing for children who are absolutely capable of doing everything you want them to do, but you do it for them. You take the boulder from them, and you take the boulder from your spouse, and you take the boulder from your friends, and you're carrying all their boulders. I know there are some people, I can see some of you on here that do this. You carry everyone's bullshit boulders and you have no emotion left and you're exhausted. And then you're wondering why you're miserable. Does that make sense? So men are more confident. They just are at being masculine. yes, they're going to fall apart, but they still have to understand that femininity space in order to give her space to create it. If he doesn't even know what it is, he's like a bear. But mama bears still protect their cubs. They still know how to nurture. You have to understand this. It's an energy of frequency, right? They call ships, right? I'm pretty sure in the military, they call ships she. What's fascinating is it's an aggression, strong, powerful metal ship, and they call her, it's balanced. Energetically, you're doing this. People energetically are creating this because they know we need to live in wholeness. We need to have balance. And if you're going to be in a relationship, oh, look at that. Someone made a good comment. She takes care of her crew. Well said. I think I have a sailor on this call. I don't know. Maybe she's not on this call, but the sailor, I could ask her how she would refer to that. Anyway, okay, so here's another one that's coming in. Let's see what this is. Let's see, grounding has been important for me many times throughout the day. Being present and focused on what is being focused on one thing at a time. Time is moving so fast around me. Yes, find that thing that helps you slow down, okay? Okay, so if we are changing, why is the world so divided? What if we want to be more feminine, but are not able to attract it? Okay. This is funny because remember what I was telling you earlier, the successful women struggle with this. This is a comment from a successful woman. Here's the thing, guys. You have to start with you, okay? Start with your iPod or your sonar, your own personality blueprint and where your conflicts are, where you were programmed parenting wise, right? Just understand you, okay? And then determine if what you're delivering out to the world is more masculine or feminine, okay? The most important thing for you to address is your personal relationships. How do you want to create divine masculine and feminine in a balanced relationship? So if you're a driven, successful woman, like I was sharing with you, and you can't soften up when you get at home, you're going to go out on dates. You're going to go into relationships where you are aggressively overpowering them. And it's either going to be a fight because they want to be the man too, or you're going to emasculate them and they're going to turn into little boys wanting you to mother them. And then you're going to be pissed because you have to carry all their bullshit boulders they don't want to carry. So it's both sides. Okay. You have to think about this. Men do the same things. This could be equally as men who go out, like I told you, in nurturing careers, very nurturing, very supportive. And then they come home, they're still in that nurturer, supportive, flow mode instead of foundation, security, and safety mode, which would be financial, budgeting, saving, and creating security so that the family isn't unsafe. Right? This can go many ways in many relationships. It doesn't mean you don't do it together, but I'm just saying one has more confidence to go, I got this. And the other goes, I got this too. So I want you to make an observation of where you stand and where you want to be. Okay. Does that make sense? Let's see. There's another one. So if we're a woman and we're being too masculine, they came at the same time, is the same as a man being too feminine. Absolutely. So these came at the same time. Your gender or sexual preference means nothing to energy. Nothing. It's why I brought up labels. Stop labeling and start evaluating your yin and yang energy imbalances. I have to work on mine daily to be more of a girl, in a sense. That's just like my phrasing of it, right? I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm just giving you the example of my phrasing for it. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. I've been asking myself, how would I treat my 6-year-old little girl self? Absolutely. Would you nurture her more or would you bully her down? That means the feminine you needs to nurture yourself more. Sometimes the masculine you needs to go take responsibility for yourself as a woman and go, wait a minute, why am I sitting back and doing nothing? And then they're telling me what to do every step of the way because you won't initiate your masculine aspect. I'm not telling you guys to be one or the other. I'm telling you to stay in balance. But if you get out of balance, you're either become the woman with the lake full of boulders, or you become the man dropping the boulders in because he doesn't know any better. This is a relationship conversation I wish every relationship would have energetically. It changes the game. Changes the game completely, because you have to ask yourself, what do you want? And if you know what you want, you have a whole different outcome. I see this in same-sex relationships. They're actually way better, I tend to notice, because they actually step into that role and they are okay with it. They own where that role is, that to get to balance. They're not trying to overpower each other, which is why don't they, we need to have other types of energy teach us. It doesn't make one right or wrong, better or worse. What I'm trying to tell you is I don't care what the topic is, even in relationships, your relationship with your doctor, and you're putting all the energy on the doctor, you're forcing that doctor to have all the masculine and you're giving up your feminine, going, I don't have no responsibility, then you're out of balance. What about your guru, your spiritual teacher? You put all your eggs, don't put them all in my basket. I give you tools so you could not be in my basket. Okay. So your guru, your spiritual leader, your spiritual teacher, do you let them own everything? Do you let them tell you every way to live and you have no power and no masculinity? You just step into going, okay, I'm just going to do what you tell me. I have no control, no power, no drive, nothing. It's the same in any relationship. The relationship with your family, with your parents, same thing. Okay. All right. We've been trained to be dormant. We've been trained to not understand ourselves. We've been programmed. We've been trained. We've become so comfortable with letting people tell us not to question anything. And instead, we're not questioning who we are, what we want to be, and how we want to live our lives. Energy will change everything. You don't need to go bully people around to do it your way. So again, I don't care who the relationship's with. I want you to really dive in and say, okay, who do I want to be? Whoever is not in alignment with who you want to be, you're going to have some of this Mars, Pluto conflict, and you don't have to conflict with them. You just got to pull away and stay you. Let them decide if they want to join you. Okay? Does that make sense about letting them decide, understanding the joining, understanding that, right? We have become so just, I don't know how to say it any better other than you've just been trained. That's it. You have been trained to be out of balance. You've been trained not to look for what you want. Like the Wizard of Oz. You have been watching and listening and agreeing with the Wizard of Oz, and I'm here to tell you, Oz is dying. And the curtain has been opened and Oz has been revealed. And if you haven't looked at any media, it's happening as we speak. Oz has been revealed. You don't get to pick, oh my God, but they were my favorite. They weren't. Who cares? They have no bearing on your energy field of masculine, feminine. They have nothing to do with you. Only you. Only you own your life. Only you own your power. Only you own your future. Okay? Okay. All right, guys. Hopefully this woke you up a little bit. Energy's energy, not labels. So what energy are you living in and where are you going to fill in the gap a little bit? Okay. I love you all. I'll see you next week. We're going to talk about the full moon, what's coming up. You guys have an awesome evening and I'll see you soon. Have a great week.